Good morning, friends, and welcome to Mornings with Mona. So, I don't know if you guys have ever felt like this, but sometimes there's days where I just want to give up on parenting. Those days when it's one tantrum after another. It seems like every kid comes to me melting down. Nothing's right. Nothing I do is right. Nothing I make is right. Everything is just a meltdown. Then problems are just coming at me from the kids left and right. And those are just some of the days that sometimes I just feel like I want to give up on parenting. It's just kind of too much all at once. So what I do with that is this kind of goes into New Year's resolutions for parenting. So what I do, I wanted to share with you guys today is every year I make a list of goals and kind of purposes that I want for each one of my kids. So on days that I want to give up on parenting, or sometimes when I get overwhelmed that there's like so many different issues and things that I want to be working on with each child, this helps me to kind of just frame it and get it down to like, okay, so this is what I really wanted to work on for this year with this one particular child. So what I do is I get a notebook and I write the child's name at the top of it, and then I write just 3 or 4 goals, nothing overwhelming, but 3 or 4 goals for each child and purposes that I want to focus on for this year. And then the second half of it is I write 3 or 4 things, practical things that I can do for each one of those children to get to that purpose and goal. Like, what is my part in it? What is it that I can do to help guide them in that way? So, for each child, I have to think about the stage and age that they're in. Is it going through adolescence? Transitioning from middle school to high school? Is it transitioning from elementary to middle school? They're going to look different for each one. Or then, going into first grade, and then a preschooler. Like, those are all going to look different for each child. And so I just write, like I said, 3 or 4 purposes that I want to focus on, things that I really want to see strengthened in them, or that I feel like they might really need, for this year. So I just take some quiet time. I personally kind of sit down with my higher power and really think about this child and what is it that I want them to really focus on this year. It might just be, as for the older ones, it might be just coming alongside of them and being their supporter. And when I need to kind of set boundaries, I will. But is it more I need to just encourage them and guide them into, making good choices and things like that, and being available for when they want to talk to me to be there. So then that my part would be that when I can sense that something's not right or they're struggling with something, that I take the time, I stop doing the dishes, I stop cleaning or folding laundry, I stop and I sit down and I give them my one-on-one attention. So that's my part in it. Or another one for one of my children, it's I want to hear them use their voice more, speak up for themselves instead of just kind of just passively being like, I'm fine, it's okay. I want to hear them use their voice more. So in that instance, then it would be like every time that he's kind of shutting down or just saying, it's fine, to really take the extra step and say, are you really fine? What's going on? What is it that you really want to say? And kind of prompt him and things like that. Again, stop what I'm doing, put it aside, and give him my one-on-one attention. So, and then the smaller ones, the preschooler, it's, just really being like, okay, so I want to do more activities with them, just continue to build that bond and that relationship. So I'm going to sit down and color with them. I'm going to take them to museums more, things like that. Do more one-on-one things with him. With being the youngest, sometimes he gets dragged along to things. And so really just giving him something individual that I can just do with him. That's my part with him. And, and then just the younger one of really helping him explore who he is. What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? And how can I do that? And so, again, that's going to be taking time with them, intentional time. I want to be intentionally parenting this year. That is one of my resolutions, is that I want to intentionally be parenting. And so I just wanted to share that this is just something that I do in this notebook. And you know what? I pull this notebook out, I flip through it probably once a month or once every couple of months. And just it helps me to refocus what I want to accomplish this year. Because sometimes it's like I can get so caught up in the kind of mundane, everyday things that sometimes I need to step back and refocus and look at the big picture and say, okay, when they are grown adults, what is it that I wanted to instill in them? And so this helps me on those days that I want to just quit parenting, even though I can't, but say, okay, I'm going to focus on these 4 things or these 3 things, and this is my part in it. This is what I really want to do this year. And so it just helps me kind of get through some of those moments in those days when I'm feeling like that, kind of overwhelmed with parenting, and that to remind myself that I want to parent with purpose and with intention. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys today, that's just something that I do, and I do it at the beginning of the year. And January is kind of my whole month of when I really get some of these New Year's, resolutions and purposes and goals together. So I just want to share that with you. I'd love to hear your ideas about what you guys do to parent with purpose. I think that's just so crucial to do with our kids, because we can get lost in the activities and the sports and the schedules and the homework and all of that, and sometimes we just lose that intention. So for me, this is what I do to keep me kind of focused and bring me back to what is important. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks for being with me today.